Okay, now class, we've learned that Mr. West is an actor, screenwriter, director, and movie maker. He studied psychology, English, and Spanish, just to name a few, at both Widener and LaSalle universities. He was a star basketball player at both universities as well. He later went into the military where he became an even bigger star basketball player for his military post. He also boxed out of Champ's Gym in Philadelphia. He headlined in multiple stage plays around the city. The list goes on and on. Now, does anybody have any questions for Mr. West?
First of all, class, put your hands down. I'll take your questions in just a second, but I want to take a moment to thank Ms. Taylor for such an eloquent, gracious, and thoughtful depiction of my life experiences, some of them. You guys are so lucky to have such a smart teacher. She summarized that up on the fly. She didn't miss a beat. She didn't miss a fact. She didn't miss a thing. Again, thank you, Ms. Taylor. Now, I'll take your questions. You back there.
Hi, I'm Anthony. Did you ever perform in a play?
What's up, Anthony? Yes, I have performed in quite a few stage plays.
Were you scared in front of... Were you scared, Anthony? I mean, were you scared in front of all those people?
Scared? I wouldn't say scared. I was nervous. I was nervous for about 2 or 3 stage plays. And then you kind of get used to it. The butterflies in your stomach never go away. It's something for every play, but once you get out there on the stage, it's just like playing a basketball game. Once the sweat gets going and the juices get to flowing, it's game time. Any other questions? You right there, big guy.
Jason.
Hold on before we go. Hold on for a second. You are much bigger and sound much older than the other kids.
Oh yeah, I got left back twice.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Go ahead. What's your question?
You said that your sister can only teach the first grade?
I never told y'all that. I told you that my sister preferred to teach first grade. She probably could teach second grade too. I wouldn't go any higher. But she can teach, she preferred to teach first grade.
Why?
Why? Well, how do I put it? My sister, not just her, it was another sister, they both were products of what's called affirmative action. It's a policy that was put in place for African Americans and other minorities to give them sort of a head start, if you will. It was put in place to try to close the gap between white America and African Americans and other minorities economically. And my sisters took advantage of it. And the problem with that is that most minorities did not really fit the criteria to get in these universities. And so they really weren't qualified. So had it been on their own merit, they would have struggled mightily. And many would have failed out of college. But there was something, and there is something that's still around, called sororities and fraternities. I know you're familiar with that, Ms. Taylor. These organizations help push minorities and other groups, cultures of races of people through college, and help them get their degrees and help them get jobs on the outside that they really are not qualified for. And so the problem with that is when you get pushed through college the way my sisters did, without getting a whole lot of education, it hurts, and it hurted the credibility of other recipients of affirmative action. The ones that did it the right way and worked so hard to prove that they belong and that they are worthy of their colleagues' respect in their respective careers. That hurts their credibility. And it's not fair. My sisters held job positions that they more than likely were not qualified for. Well, maybe a first grade teacher can do that, but there's a lot of affirmative action recipients out there who got pushed through college. And a lot of it has to do with these fraternities and sororities, and they're demonic of nature, by nature, they're demonic. And things that look great in the beginning, you know, you graduated, you have a job, car, house, whatever. Those things look good in the beginning, but the devil comes to pay in the end. And I don't want to get deep with you guys. I don't want to get that deep, but I would deter you from these sororities and fraternities and get your education. Do it the right way. That's all I got to say about that. Next question. Next question. You, young lady.
Hello, my name is Me with You. So, Mr. West, how do they teach if they're not smart?
That's a good question, man. Thank you for that. Cat, right? You can do that, right? 1 + 1 is what? 2. 1 + 2 is what?
3.
Count 'em. That's all there is to it. You ain't got to go to college for that. You ain't got to go to college for that. You can teach that. That's all I'm saying. You can teach that. They felt like they were, Miss Taylor, they felt like they weren't worthy enough to be friends with their colleagues. They said they were too smart. They wouldn't date any of their male colleagues, male teachers. Said they was too smart. Believe that? Too smart. You know who they hang out with, Miss Taylor? NTAs, the janitors, security guards, the teachers' aides, and the cooks, the help aides in the lunchroom. That's all they hung out with. No teachers, nothing faculty, nothing like that.
Lord have mercy.
None of that. And their boyfriends, heavy drug users.
Mr. West, are you serious?
They didn't want you unless you had a crutch. At least 10 years younger than them, unemployed, on some type of hard drugs. You needed to have a crutch. These were the teachers and guidance counselors. These were the type of men, these are the type of the boys that they dated. These were the type of boys that they dated. Heavy drug users, at least 10 years younger than them. Heavy drinkers, and you had to be unemployed. Had to be unemployed. My sister loved an unemployed man who could watch her kids while she was at work. And I'm not kidding.
Wow.
They had to have a crutch. Don't y'all find a man like that when y'all get older. Don't y'all find a fellow like that. Had to have a crutch. Y'all gonna laugh at this, but it's a shame because my sisters, they worked in the school just like this one. I mean, not exactly like y'all's. Y'all have a really good school and a tremendous teacher. But they were in elementary schools like you guys are in, and didn't even own a dictionary. I remember one time one of them called me, she says, I'm putting this treatment plan together. And I don't know why I can't think. But how you spell little? Does it have one D or two D's in it? See how y'all laughing? But that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. When you go to college, you need to get your education. And you didn't have to go to college to learn how to spell the word little. One dated a drug user, and the other one dated a guy that worked at the neighborhood Chinese store.
Lord have mercy.
No offense to me.
What Chinese store did he work at? Because there's like 5 around my way.
Raise your
This one
hand,
was in
Jason.
North Philly. She used to pick him up when he got off of work in her little Vega. It was a little car. Y'all weren't even born when this car was out. But she used to pick him up after work, and then she would take him out to eat, and she would pay for it.
Hey, Mr. West, did he ever pay to take her out? Raise your hand, Anthony.
He would always say he was gonna pay her back when he got paid on Friday. But he couldn't really pay her back. I mean, he owed everybody. He couldn't ask her because he owed her. So he had to ask everybody else. And he owed them because he needed to borrow money for the bus fare so he could get to work. He needed to borrow money so he could have lunch at work. He needed to borrow money. In fact, he owed his mom because he was living in his mom's basement. No, y'all don't laugh at that. Because at least he was paying his mom. I had 2 older brothers. They all older than me. But these 2 was almost 60, living with my mom. And never paid her a dime. So don't laugh at him. At least he was trying to pay his mother. But then Miss Taylor, he would kick the okey doke on her. Told her he was going to pay her back when he got his taxes back. And we all know that they pay under the table at the Chinese store. No offense to me. They don't want to deal with the IRS. They ain't paying you over the table. They pay under the table. Jason,
Mr. West, is the affirmative action still around?
affirmative action. And I'm not sure if it's still around. I do know that it was effective though. If it got my sisters in college, it was quite effective. In fact, it got a lot of my sisters. A lot of their girlfriends was accepted in college too by affirmative action, and they all became teachers, Miss Taylor.
Wow.
Every last one of them. I always said you could take the person out of the ghetto, but you cannot take the ghetto out of the person.
What you mean by that, Mr. West?
Raise your hand, Miss Taylor.
You might as well close the door, Miss Taylor.
Boy, be quiet. This is my class. Go ahead, Mr. West.
You might as well close the door, Miss Taylor, so we can talk for real.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that this ain't classroom etiquette. But I heard that they used to walk all around the classroom and all up and down the hallways with slippers on.
Mr. West, are you serious?
There's a heart attack. I heard that one of the girlfriends, the teacher, used to take her classroom outside for recess or lunch and then go to the principal's office for her own snack.
Mr. West, what did they have for lunch?
A mighty good time. No, I would imagine they had some ice cream. Maybe a little bit of whipped cream with it.
But Mr. West, you said she was married?
Almost 25 years. Husband was dying of cancer.
Lord have mercy.
Which one of y'all could guess the husband's habit before he caught the cancer? Jason.
Drugs.
You got it. You got it.
My uncle be smoking weed.
You laughing. That's they ain't mess with nobody unless they were on hard drugs.
Lord have mercy.
Hard drugs. Real drugs. Hard liquor. We talking about hard drugs. Paraphernalia with spoons, needles, tourniquets, straws, hard drugs. They didn't mess with you unless you was on hard drugs.
What's a tourniquet, Mr. West?
It's called tourniquet. It's what people use, like medics use it to, or a doctor uses it to cut off where you bleeding at. They tie something real tight to it. Drug users use it like a rubber tube or something to help tie the arm off. And or they get their buddy to help them tie their arm off so they can find the vein with the needle. But we all laughing. I want y'all to know drugs ain't no joke. I'm telling y'all this because drugs ain't no joke. I don't want y'all messing with drugs. I don't want you messing with drug dealers and drug users. This is why I'm telling y'all this stuff. Stay away from it. What's the moral of the story? You see y'all hands. What's the moral of the story? Don't get quiet now, Jason. You've been the biggest mouth. What's the moral of the story?
I would just say if you a teacher, you ain't got no business dating nobody that work in no Chinese store and he can't pay you back. No offense, man.
Good point, Jason. Excellent point. Who else? I think I saw your hand up, man. What you got for me?
You go to college to learn, not join organization with the devil, not marry a bad man, and not mess with drug.
There it is right there, Miss Taylor. I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, man. Thank you for that. And I thank y'all for having me today. It's been a real pleasure hanging out with you guys this afternoon. I sure do hope that y'all will invite me back again real soon. That's it then, Miss Taylor. It's official. You are outnumbered.
Well, we enjoyed your company too, Mr. West. Class, let's let Mr. West hear a great big round of applause. I want you guys to count back from 5 to 1. On 1, let's hear it. Ready, set, go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Justin! Louis! How you doing? Hey, man.
Hey, man. What's happening?
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I'm funky.
Dr. Grant, this is my friend Larry David.
Hi, how you
my
doing?
dermatologist.
Really?
Oh, yeah, what? For 15 years already?
Even with the whole affirmative action thing?
I'm sorry. I beg your pardon. What?
Yeah. What do you mean?
What was the joke? What?
What do you mean the whole affirmative action thing? I don't.
Oh.
Right.
It was a joke.
Oh, no, he's like
Wait,
my buddy.
hey,
He's
come
not,
on, no.
I know him. I mean, he's a sweetheart.
The implication being that
Oh,
I
oh,
wasn't good enough to
no.
be a dermatologist.
No, come on.
Who is this guy?
No,
Yeah,
it was a joke.
He's a liberal. He's like,
So if I wasn't black, you would have said the same thing, or not? Do you see my point?
Yeah, I see it in a historical sense, but not in a nice day
Yeah,
sense.
don't take.
No. You know, Richard, I've worked too hard and too long at this. I can't.
I know. Look,
I can't do it. I don't know what his trip is, but I can't do it.
No,
I don't have any trip. No, it was a joke.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Holy shit. What hit you?
No, it was a joke.
I know it's a joke. You sounded like Christ, like Pat Buchanan's gin
I was
partner,
just
for
trying to
Christ's
be.
sake.
I was trying to be affable.
Look, I'll see you tonight. Hopefully we'll resolve,
I tend to say stupid things to black people
stupid
sometimes.
things. That's like going to be in the time capsule, for Christ's sake. Look, I'll see you later on.
I was just trying to be affable.
We didn't raise our son to be a cheat.
You wasted your money, Mr. Jefferson. Ryan's gonna tear up this forgery.
He ain't gonna do nothing of the kind or he won't graduate.
But sometimes you gotta take one step backwards so you can take 2 steps forward.
Now wait a minute, this is my problem. I can talk for myself.
Oh, okay, Lionel, you tell him.
Yeah, go ahead. But let your father down easy. He meant well. Don't worry, I'm gonna do what's best. Pop, thanks.